I know that we'll cut to the heart of it. You don't want expanded background checks for family members. You don't want expanded background checks for friends, for friendships. People giving a gun or selling a gun to a friend. But you are entertaining the idea of expanded background checks for stranger-to-stranger sales. Why is that?
Yes. Okay, great question, Chad, and you framed it very well. And when you said to bring it up basically for conversation, Chad, I was out in Midland a few weeks ago after the shooting and spent a lot of time in El Paso. And Greg Abbott and I have been, unless you're a chaplain in Texas, I don't know of anyone who's been to more funerals and memorial services and visiting people in the hospitals than the governor and myself. And we've had 5 shootings, Chad, in the last 4 years: Dallas, Sutherland Springs, Santa Fe, El Paso, and Midland. And behind each shooting has been a different method of the way a person got the gun. A student maybe from their past, I don't want to be sued here by accusing the parents, but a student who was able to get guns he should not have been able to get in Santa Fe, the killer in Sutherland Springs who should have been stopped from getting a gun in a background check, but the Air Force didn't follow up as they should have with the paperwork, and so he wasn't stopped. And then in Midland, still under investigation, but we know that the shooter there who killed 7 people was denied a gun in a background check, but was still able to get one. So here are the facts, Chad. And I want this to be a discussion issue because this is a multi-pronged issue. It's violent video games. It's social media. It's mental health. It is the federal government not doing their job totally in a lot of cases on these background checks. And Chad, here's the facts. The NRA themselves estimate that 90% of people who buy guns today, or near 90%, go through a background check. The federal government estimates it's about 80%. And the reason they're estimates is because we don't know how many people are selling guns, family to family, friends to friends, and stranger to stranger. But it's a high percentage. And so let's just take the difference, 85% between the state and, between the Fed estimate and the NRA estimate. That means about 15% of the people who buy guns in America don't get a background check. And we'll estimate, and it's an estimate because we don't know the exact, that half of those are family and friends. So there's somewhere between 5 and 7 or 8% of Americans who buy guns are buying them stranger to stranger. Why do we allow this to happen? Because we know, Chad, that it's not the gun. I'm totally against banning AR-15s. Look, I own AR-15s, AK-47s. I own all the guns. I've always had an A plus or an A rating with the NRA. We are one of the most gun-friendly states in the country. I'm pro Second Amendment all the way. I don't want a national registry. Don't want to ban weapons, etc. But on this issue, I just think the NRA is wrong. And I think that we need to, it doesn't mean I'm at war with them. I just say, look, I'm a member, I'm a gun owner, I have an opinion on this.
But do you think that would have stopped them? Because we see in Chicago, we always talk, Republicans always talk about Chicago being very strict on guns. Right. Would another law have stopped him?
Well, here's the problem. I don't want to go down that rabbit trail, but let me just answer that question. One of the problems, right now, and if you think about this, Chad, and I know you have lots of gun owners listening, to your show. Right now, we already have a federal law against stranger to stranger. If you buy a gun over the internet, and you have it shipped to you, it has to go to a gun store for you to go pick it up. If you or I buy a gun over the internet today, and it's shipped to a gun dealer, you have to go get a background check. The only way that you avoid that is if you buy a gun from someone on the internet and they're willing or you're willing to drive to wherever they live and pick it up. And so one of the problems in Chicago is there are tremendous amounts of guns sold in Indiana, stranger to stranger or straw man purchases, which is already against the law, where people know they're buying a gun for someone who shouldn't have it, and they're just driving from Indiana, to Chicago and delivering the guns. So let's not get down that rabbit trail. But here's look, we don't know the. I have some information I can't share because it's classified, but there have been some stories leaked to the media. We know that this killer in Midland failed a background check, but he got a gun. And was it a stranger? Was it a friend? We don't know exactly yet, but he shouldn't have had that gun. And there are 7 people dead today because he shouldn't have a gun. Look, we're never going to stop evil, Chad. There's the bad actors out there, the bad guys, are always going to be able to get a gun somehow. But not all of them are always going to be able to get a gun. And so there's 3 ways you get a gun, Chad. If you're a bad guy, okay, you steal it, or you buy it from a stranger. The pushback that you say, obviously, there are people really, but there's some. But I'm supposed to be a leader. The Lieutenant Governor of Texas, I got an A or an A plus. I got an A plus rating from the NRA last session. I passed open carry. I passed campus as Lieutenant Governor, campus carry. We passed every pro-gun bill that the NRA has given us. I mean, we passed their agenda last session. I'm a member of the NRA. I own it. I'm a strong gun owner. But I can tell you, Chad, when you ask me the response that I've been getting personally, so far, and I know lots of gun owners in this state, okay? I've had one person say, Dan, that's unreasonable. The idea that Michael Quinn Sullivan and Empower Texas or their scorecard, the media outlet, would suggest that me or Greg Abbott are more dangerous to Texas than Beto O'Rourke. We're just gun owners. We're law-abiding citizens. We love guns. We're Second Amendment supporters who have an opinion that maybe we ought to look at this. And this is like, the left does this all the time. If you're for marriage between a man and a woman, they call you, you're homophobic. If you say we want to secure the border, they say, you're racist. If we say I don't want boys and girls to shower together at school, as I did, 2 sessions ago or last session on the bathroom bill, well, you just don't like transgender people. No, you can believe in something. I'm not anti-Second Amendment because I just have this view that maybe we need to look at this issue. And the fact that Michael Quinn Sullivan, who should be helping he could come out and say, for example, like the rest of us are saying, like we're having, say, look, Dan Patrick has a solid Second Amendment record. Greg Abbott, solid second. We are one of the most pro-gun states in the country, and the NRA will tell you that. I mean, just about every law you can have, we passed. But we disagree with Dan on this. But for Empower Texans, that should be trying to elect Republicans. I mean, that's the position they take. We want conservatives. For them to call me out and say that I'm more of a threat to Texas than Beto O'Rourke. I mean, he really does want to take your guns. And or the Greg Abbott, you got to keep your. I mean, that was you got to keep your eye on Greg Abbott. You got to keep your eye on Gabe Sickey. I mean, this is crazy talk. You got to focus in Texas on 2020 of beating Democrats. And quite frankly, Empower
is this
Texas,
is this why you've embraced that? Is polling to beat the Democrats?
No.
Okay.
No.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.